What is going on, Arkansas Razorback fans, SEC fans, college football fans everywhere? Thank you so much for stopping by and checking out this video. If you would at the end, like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And a lot of things to talk about. I want to talk about, obviously, we're going to talk Arkansas. I want to talk about the LSU quarterback situation. I want to talk about the overall SEC situation and what I think is kind of going on within the conference. And, yeah, they had a good week, too, but really, where are we going to be at the end of the year looking back? When we're looking back on the year, what's going to kind of be one of the underlining things that we look at and go, that's what was going on. Maybe that explains the troubles and the strengths and weaknesses of the SEC in 2016. So without further hesitation, let's go into the first topic, the LSU Tigers. One of the things that has driven me absolutely crazy about the LSU Tigers the last 3 or 4 years is that despite poor quarterback play, they're given the benefit of the doubt, whether it's preseason polls or week to week, based on who they beat and who they lose to. They're just given the benefit of the doubt. Now, 5 years ago, yeah, they earned that right, but now it's over. It's over. In terms of where we are right now. Now, I'm not saying that Les Miles is, their year's over, they're going to be lucky to do this or that. No, I'm saying leading into this year, that shouldn't have been a factor. They shouldn't have been considered a top 5 team. As long as that quarterback play, was where it was at, and it was clearly. And I said this a little while back in my first video for this channel that LSU, Leonard Fournette at LSU is not a good enough running back to carry this offense without any kind of forward pass threat, without any kind of vertical threat. And that's just the truth. Now I think LSU's coming to their senses, and they realize that. They realize that they had to make a change, and they finally did. They go to Danny Etling. And I've already been asked this now 3 times. What do you think of Danny Etling? Is he the future? Is LSU season saved? I have no idea. I know that he went 6 of 14 for 100 yards, a rushing touchdown, a passing touchdown, and an interception. He also threw for under 50% completion percentage against the mighty Jacksonville State Gamecocks. I know what little I did see of him. Yeah, one throw was really impressive, but then they also show a couple of his incompletions. They look not so great. But his first start, he's going to have to catch up to the speed of the game. I don't know what to think of him because I want to see him against SEC play. But that's just kind of where I'm at with him and with Danny Etling. Do I think that this helps him? If he gives them any kind of forward pass threat, yes. LSU will now be a better program because of it, and they will benefit. They'll win games. They'll win games with it, and that's something to think about. But at the same time, I wasn't exactly blown away by this kid. There's nothing that he did that was, oh, my God, mind-blowing. And I think for LSU fans who are now screaming that they have a shot at the SEC West, maybe you do. We're going to find out really soon. Which leads me to my next point. I'm going to make it really brief. Just the overall status of the SEC and talk a little bit about the East and just kind of where I think we'll be. When we're looking back on 2016, we're going to ask, what are the things that why did the SEC take a step back? Because I've said all along, coming into this year, I don't think the SEC is going to be as dominant. And I said that last year, and I was wrong. This year, I'm sticking with that, though. I feel like the status of the SEC is not what it once was. And they're starting to take steps back. And I think a lot of that's because they're going through that recycling mode where all their better quarterbacks are gone. Outside of Dobbs and Kelly. And I like this kid at Florida. Del Rio looks good. He's got control of that offense. Defensively, they're playing sound football. Whew. I'm waiting until after week 4 to give my official who I think wins what side of the conference. But, boy, Florida is certainly making a case. But I think right now it's just new quarterbacks. Of course, you've had the coaching changes going on over in the SEC East. You've had the quarterback situation down at LSU. I think Dobbs has really been not so great at quarterback. Now, this week he stepped it up against Virginia Tech, especially in the second half. But overall, I think that's what we're going to be looking back on. We're going to just that's going to be the kind of, if you're going to underline some issues in the SEC. I think new quarterbacks, poor quarterback play. Overall, poor quarterback play. Yeah, Austin Allen coming out of week 2, going into week 3, he's getting all these accolades. I think he got Manning quarterback of the week and SEC offensive player of the week and all this great stuff. But the week before that, he didn't have a great game. 20 of 29 passing, which isn't bad, but then he threw a couple picks. Didn't exactly have an elite quarterback rating. But then coming out of week 2, now he looks like an all-star, right? So we'll see where he winds up at the end of the year. I think he's a really good quarterback. I think he's further ahead at this level, at this age, than Brandon Allen was. But he also has had 2 years now to get familiar with this offense and with how they run this offense. So that's definitely an advantage. And it doesn't hurt that he's got the talent around him is really good. That helps Austin Allen. But when you look around the league, not everyone has what Arkansas has at quarterback or what Texas A&M may have at quarterback. But also I think offensive lines have not been so great in the SEC. The SEC's that's one area where the SEC just has had a stronghold of when you talk about the things that make the Power 5 conferences great. And one of those things about the SEC, elite defenses and line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball dominating. That's not been the story for the SEC this year. It just hasn't. And maybe we'll see that get better as the year goes on. But that's where I'm at. I think we'll be talking about at the end of 2016, looking back on the season, what couple of things we'll be talking about are those two weaknesses. Okay, guys, last thing we're going to talk about here, and then we're done. I try to keep these videos short. Next opponent for the Arkansas Razorbacks, Texas State Bobcats. Hey, that's the name of one of my elementary schools that I went to in Fayetteville, the Bates Bobcats, back when they existed before Fayetteville took over that building. But the Texas State Bobcats won their game in dramatic fashion against Ohio, 3 overtimes, which their quarterback Jones threw for 55. He had 55 total passes, only 15 incompletions, 40 of 55. That's 40 completions in a game. I don't care who you're playing. That's pretty freaking accurate, and that's some pretty decent decision-making. 418 yards, 4 touchdowns. He did throw a couple of picks. Their running back, Mayberry, 17 carries, 79 yards, and a touchdown. Their leading receiver, King, with 7 catches, 105 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So we know what kind of offense Arkansas is about to face. It's a team that likes to run a lot of plays, and so I want to see Arkansas just play a complete game against Texas State. I want to see them play 4 complete quarters of football. I have faith in them. They can do it. We saw it a couple times last year. I want to see their defense get off the field quicker, and I want to see their offense complete drives every quarter. We've yet to see that this year. We didn't see it as much as we wanted to last year, and if they could do it, if they can do it against Texas State, I know that's not saying much because, it's Texas State. Let's just be real here. But at least maybe going forward, we'll know that they have it in them. And always, you have to consider who they're playing against. Yes, I know it. But it'd just be nice to see them put together a full game. When we get into A&M week, we're going to be talking about finishing, something they have not done against A&M. So I want to see them this week take that next step, play 4 quarters of football against Texas State. Come on, it's possible. Let's see it. Good ranking for the Razorbacks being top 25. That's awesome to see. Back in the rankings. They should still be there after this week. God, I feel like every time I say that, no matter who they're about to play, I need to knock on wood. But that's it for me, guys. That's the end of the video. Try like hell to be kind to one another. Till the next video. Peace. And we'll see you next week.